Sagittarius, adventurous heart of the journey. Have you ever stood at the threshold of your own expansive spirit, feeling a profound and sacred echo, a moment where a long-awaited blessing finally settles into your life, a prayer answered with a gentle, undeniable grace, only to feel a quiet tide, pulling something you once cherished back into the sea, all in the same breath? It is a feeling that can stop the heart, a holy paradox that feels almost cruel in its design. Yet what if this is not a contradiction but the very rhythm of the universe speaking to you in its most intimate and mysterious language? Today, we are not here merely to speak of the future. We are here to embark upon a journey into the deepest currents of your soul, to trace the sacred geometry that connects the flow of abundance, the return of true, authentic freedom, and the tender blessings of your ancestors as they all converge in your life right now. This is not a story of what is lost, but a revelation of what was being made whole in the silence. It is a testament to how the great design, in its infinite wisdom, moves to bring you into perfect alignment. To anchor your heart in this sacred current, take a moment to seal your intention. Let your like on this video be a quiet promise to yourself to remain open to this blessing. Share this message with another soul who may be navigating these same deep waters, letting your act be a ripple of grace. And subscribe to our channel Cosmic Treasure as a vow that you will never again have to walk through the mist alone. Now breathe deeply, and let us step together from the heart of the crisis into the light of your revelation, so you may witness with your own eyes how divine balance is finally returning to you. Every sacred story written for your soul, dear Sagittarius, seems to begin with this divine paradox. The very moment a dream you have nurtured in the quietest corners of your heart, perhaps of a boundless adventure, a profound truth, or deep philosophical connection, finally finds its way to you. The door to a new reality opens with a soft, luminous glow. And yet, almost in the same heartbeat, something you once held with silent tenderness begins to drift away like a ship disappearing into the fog. The human heart, in its pursuit of meaning, struggles to comprehend this, how the arrival of such profound joy can be entwined with the ache of a silent loss. You might look to the heavens and ask, why? Why would the universe grant me the fullness of one prayer only to create an empty space where something else once lived, but perhaps adventurous soul? The truth is not found in the asking, but in the feeling. This is not a test of punishment, nor is it a simple reward. It is the sacred act of balancing, a holy recalibration that is designed to keep your spirit in perfect rhythm with its highest destiny. I have come to believe, after watching the tides of so many lives, that every great blessing carries within it a sacred exchange. Not because the cosmos wishes you harm, but because it longs to awaken you from the deepest slumber. When a current of financial ease, a long-awaited opportunity, or a sense of unshakable philosophical stability finally flows into your life, the simultaneous silence of a closing door, the fading of a quiet bond, the end of a chapter you thought would last forever compels you to turn your gaze inward. It is in that singular, suspended moment of being both blessed and emptied that your true higher self begins to stir. You begin to feel in the deepest part of your being that what has departed was never meant to be the anchor for your future. And the blessing that has just arrived could only appear because you finally unconsciously made space for it. Sometimes the deepest ache isn't in the leaving itself, but in the way it happens in the profound and hollow silence. No grand explanation, no final goodbye, only an echoing space where laughter or comfort once resided. You may find yourself sifting through memories, a treasure chest of moments past, longing for a single word, a reason, a chance to understand. But the silence in its own way is the message. The divine often speaks to us in the quiet spaces, in the whispers that travel through the emptiness, not in the noise of the world. And in that sacred stillness, it asks you, do you still trust me even in this absence? Can you see that this loss is not a tomb but a fertile open field where new seeds are meant to be sown? Think back, gentle heart. Remember the moments you were certain you had fallen beyond repair, only to realize years later that those moments were blessings in a heavy disguise. A life situation that ended abruptly, pushing you onto a path that truly honored your need for authentic truth. A friendship that dissolved, saving you from a betrayal that would have cut far deeper into your expansive spirit. A love that walked away in silence. An act that in its own painful way returned you to the sanctuary of yourself. At first, each of these endings felt like a cruelty. But with the gentle perspective of time, you came to understand that the universe does not take from you to cause you pain. It takes to prepare you. It removes what is heavy so your hands are no longer too full to receive what you have been praying for. Sagittarius, the crisis you may be feeling right now, this sacred space where blessings and loss coexist, is not the end of your story. It is the pivotal chapter, the moment the plot turns where the hero of the story trembles before the coming dawn, not knowing what it holds. You are being invited by the universe to hold two profound truths at once: the joy of stepping into a new season of abundance and authentic freedom, and the sorrow of watching something precious come to a close. Both are real, both are sacred, and both in their own mysterious way are necessary for your becoming. I know how heavy this balance feels in your open heart. The human spirit struggles to rejoice and grieve in the same breath, but your soul can. Your soul, ancient and wise as the constellations themselves, has always known that joy and sorrow are twin flames, siblings, who arrive hand in hand to carve the depths of your wisdom. Without the sorrow, your joy would be shallow. Without the joy, your sorrow would be an endless sea. Together, they are teaching you compassion, resilience, and a faith that cannot be shaken. The lesson here is as clear as water in a still pool. Loss is not failure. Loss is preparation. It is the clearing of the emotional soil before the new garden of your soul can be planted. It is the pruning of the old branches so that sweeter, more vibrant fruit of connection may grow. It is the profound stillness that must fall before the first note of a beautiful symphony can be heard. What you are living now is not an ending but a sacred exchange. Something departs, so that something infinitely greater may stay. Sometimes the most divine gifts arrive wrapped in the silence of what has been left behind. And though your human heart may resist this truth, your soul understands. It knows that this departure is not a punishment, but a release. It knows that you cannot carry everything from your past into the new season that is dawning for you. Some relationships, no matter how cherished, cannot walk the path where you are now going. Some old emotional burdens and heartaches cannot cross the threshold of the destiny that awaits you. So breathe deeply, Sagittarius. If you must let the tears fall like a gentle rain, let the sorrow flow through you, cleansing and purifying your spirit. But do not for a single moment mistake it for defeat. You are not being broken, you are being balanced. You are not being abandoned, you are being prepared. Money is arriving. Opportunities are unfolding. Recognition is finally coming to you, and none of it is by chance. These are the direct results of the new higher frequency you have ascended to. And the loss you feel now is simply the final tender thread being cut, freeing you from a life that no longer fits the beautiful, truth-seeking soul you have become. Do not look back for too long. What has left you has fulfilled its sacred purpose. What remains is your own soul, radiant and ready for more. Ahead of you lies not mere survival, but a profound and beautiful transformation. This is your crisis, yes, but it is also your great awakening. Hold on to your faith. Believe that both the gift and the silence are leading you toward the same horizon. And know this with every fiber of your being, that horizon shines more brilliantly than all the shadows you have left behind. And as you stand in this delicate, powerful moment, one hand holding your blessings and the other gently releasing your loss, you may wonder what challenge awaits you and how you will find the strength to overcome it. The answer, gentle soul, will unfold in the next part of our journey. For now, take another deep breath. Let this sense of divine balance seep into you and listen, truly, listen to the whisper of wisdom that is waiting for you within the silence. After the storm has passed, Sagittarius, your soul is not meant to linger in the waters of loss. Because when a blessing arrives and a part of your old life departs, the journey that follows will always bring you to a sacred threshold, a test. This test does not come to punish you or to cause you pain. It arrives to reveal a profound truth, whether you now have the courage to break the emotional cycle that has held your spirit captive for so long. How many times, gentle heart, have we felt ourselves falling back into the same story as if caught in an invisible current? A love that begins with hope only to repeat the same pattern of emotional neglect or neediness. A friendship that felt as deep as the ocean but left the same familiar wound of abandonment. A financial opportunity that shone with promise followed again by a sense of betrayal or exploitation of your generosity. All of these experiences can spin like a hidden vortex beneath the surface of your life, making you wonder, was I born only to endure this pain endlessly? No, Sagittarius. The divine did not place you in this beautiful life to be drained dry. You were given a heart as vast and as deep as the ocean itself, but you were also given a quiet and powerful gift, the silence of intention. This is not a silence born of fear or resentment, but a silence that is a form of divine justice. Because sometimes you do not need to raise your voice to prove your worth. It is your gentle withdrawal from what is toxic, your quiet refusal to re-enter the old, painful emotional patterns that speaks with the greatest power. I believe the greatest challenge for a soul as empathetic and nurturing as yours, Sagittarius, is not in your capacity to endure, but in your willingness to create sacred boundaries. You have grown so accustomed to giving, to carrying the pain of others, to placing your own emotional well-being at the very end of the line. But the challenge that stands before you now calls you to pause, to raise gentle, shimmering walls of light around your own energy field and your emotional sanctuary, to say no to repetition. No to those who only come to take from your well without ever replenishing it. No to the situations that force you to forget the sacred truth of your own worth. You may have learned early in life about the grace of forgiveness, but remember, this gentle soul forgiving does not mean returning. Forgiveness is the act of releasing the heavy anchor of resentment from your own heart so that your spirit can finally be free to sail in new waters. When you forgive, you do not open the door for them to come back into your life. You open the door for yourself to walk out into the light. That is the essence of true liberation. Try just for a moment to listen to the silence within you right now. Can you feel it? It is not emptiness. It is the deep, resonant hum of your soul. It is the quiet wisdom that is telling you that you have run dry, that you cannot keep sacrificing your own light to sustain something that has already faded. Your silence is not weakness, it is the awakening of your deepest knowing. And once you recognize this, you begin the real test, choosing to protect yourself instead of continuing to defend those who have hurt you. I know, Sagittarius, that you fear loneliness or the breaking of communal bonds. You fear that creating these sacred boundaries means you will lose everyone you care for. But this challenge has come to show you the opposite is true. You will lose no one, except for those who were never truly yours to begin with. And in their place, you will find new souls, new connections, a new tribe that resonates at the frequency of your healed heart, a frequency worthy of the immense love and nurturing you have to give. Picture this in your mind, a beautiful sacred room filled with old dusty furniture that no longer serves your emotional comfort or security. You cannot bring anything new, anything precious, anything vibrant into this space until you gently clear it out. Your soul is that sacred room. Your boundaries are the gentle act of sweeping away the weight of the past emotional baggage, making space for new blessings to enter. And these blessings do not come to you because you have begged for them. They come because you have created a sanctuary within yourself, a space of resolve and self-worth. This test will not always be easy. It asks you to turn your back on what was once achingly familiar, even on those who you once believed were your entire world or family. But remember, not every departure is a loss. Some departures are miracles in disguise. And if today you must close an emotional door, trust that the universe has already prepared another one for you, brighter, wider, and infinitely safer for you to walk through. Sagittarius, this is the time where you learn to keep your immense love from being wasted. You learn to love from a place of mutual respect, not one-sided endurance. You learn to give without losing yourself in the process. And when you do this, a miracle begins to unfold. You are no longer consumed by the old draining emotional cycles. You stand tall, free, and your inner light no longer flickers in the winds of other people's storms. It burns with a steady, gentle flame illuminating your own path. Let your heart be still like the surface of a deep, clear lake at dawn. Do not fear the silence that this brings. Within that sacred silence, a revelation is waiting for you. And when this challenge reaches its peak, when you have learned to honor your own sanctuary and break the loop of the past, the divine will open before your eyes. A revelation so profound it will show you that every ending was simply the quiet, sacred beginning of your emotional rebirth. And that is where our journey shall take us next. Sagittarius, when you have moved through the heart of the storm and learned the sacred art of setting your own boundaries, what follows is not an empty space. It is a revelation. It is the moment the heavy mists finally part and a gentle divine light floods into your being, illuminating every shadow, every corner of your emotional life and sense of freedom. In this light, there are no more illusions, there are no more excuses, there is only the truth remaining before you clear piercing, and yet the only true medicine for your healing. In the sacred language of the tarot, this moment is the embodiment of the star and justice. The star appears after the tempest, a gentle reminder that hope was never lost, that a divine light has always been there to guide your sensitive heart home. Justice arrives not as a harsh judgment from above, but as a quiet restoration of balance. It is the slow, graceful unfolding of divine order. What you have sown in the silence of your heart now begins to blossom and return to you in the light of day. Perhaps not everyone in the world will see it, but your soul knows. Every tear you have ever shed has been seen, has been recorded in the light. I have come to believe with every fiber of my being that no loss is ever truly random. Everything that comes to an end, no matter how painful it feels at the time, is part of a grand and compassionate design. The universe never abandons you in the darkness. It simply guides you through it, so that your eyes can adjust to the brilliance of the light that is to come. And when that light finally arrives, you will understand with a profound sense of peace that it was not luck, nor was it a coincidence. It was the spiritual consequence of your own beautiful, painful, and sacred journey. Perhaps you once prayed for a sense of belonging or a perfect journey, and now it is arriving in your life, just not in the form you had imagined. Perhaps you prayed with all your heart for someone to stay, but instead, the universe sent you the gift of emotional release. This revelation teaches you that every single prayer is heard, but the answers sometimes come disguised as trials. And those trials, gentle soul, are the very gateways to your deepest grace. Remember this, Sagittarius divine justice does not require your participation in revenge. Heaven's justice works in the quiet currents. It dissolves the emotional cycles you could not break on your own. It lifts you from the places you clung to for far too long out of loyalty or fear of disruption. And though you may feel for a moment that you have lost, you have in truth been profoundly protected. Every door that has closed in your face was not a rejection, but an act of divine protection for your tender heart. This revelation also brings with it something far greater than wealth or even love. It brings rebirth. You look at yourself in the reflection of the water, and you see with startling clarity you are no longer who you were. The version of you who endured, who quietly suffered, who turned a blind eye to what was hurting your emotional security now stands with a new light of clarity in your eyes and a gentle firmness in your heart. That is the deepest justice of all. You no longer need to prove your worth through your suffering or endless nurturing of others. The human lesson in all of this is so simple and yet so profound. Do not fear the truth, even if it makes you weep. Even if it asks you to walk away from a life you once knew or a relationship dynamic you felt bound to. The truth in its purest form always brings freedom. And when you face it with a brave and open heart, you will see that what you lost was never truly love, but an attachment born of need or fear of being alone. And what you keep is not the pain, but the sacred, inalienable right to live a life that is pure, peaceful, and worthy of your beautiful, adventurous soul. Sagittarius, allow yourself right now to lift your head and look at the sky. The star that was meant for you is still shining no matter how thick the night around you has become. Do not doubt your path. Do not turn back. Trust that you are being guided, for heaven's justice never misses its mark. And remember, if you ever feel that you have nothing left, that is the very moment you are standing at the threshold of a new sacred beginning for your emotional life and your sense of purpose. So, now with this revelation unveiled, what awaits you next? It is not only a deeper understanding, it is a call to gentle action. A new seed must be sown. And in the next chapter of our journey, we will step into the sacred space of choice, where every gentle step you take from this moment forward opens the path that destiny has long been preparing for you. The revelation has come, Sagittarius. The gentle light has been shown, and now your soul is being called into its next phase of becoming action. This is not a violent, jarring action, not the kind that seeks to change the entire world overnight. It is a small, quiet step, a single seed, planted in the right place at the right time, with the right vibration of love and trust. The universe has never asked you to carry the weight of saving everything and everyone. It has only ever whispered to you, plant a seed of faith in your emotional strength, a seed of kindness towards yourself, a seed of a different choice from the one you have made 1,000 times before in your relationships or life's journey. It could be the quiet decision to finally invest in that opportunity for a stable future you once feared. It could be a prayer for true emotional security you have never before dared to speak aloud. It could be just a gentle yes that rises from your soul, agreeing to cross a new threshold in a relationship, even if you cannot see the full path ahead. I have come to believe that it is these small, sacred seeds that turn the great wheel of destiny. A field does not bloom through haste, but through the steady, patient sowing of each tiny sprout. A family lineage does not change its course through grand speeches, but through the repeated, gentle action of one person who is brave enough to stand up and choose differently. You might be that person, Sagittarius. You might be the very one the universe has placed here to stop the cycle of emotional pain, to transform the current of your lineage. Imagine this: in the palm of your hand lies a small, unassuming seed. It is not loud. It is not dazzling. It may even feel fragile. But when you press it into the fertile soil of this new beginning, it does not just sprout for you. It roots itself deep into the memory of your family, and it rises as a beacon of hope for all the generations to come. One small conscious decision today, leaving the toxic relationship for good, declining an opportunity that disrespects your emotional worth, or beginning that humble creative project that brings you comfort, each of these is a seed capable of reshaping the entire landscape of your future. Sagittarius, you do not need to chase after the doors that have closed. You do not need to tire your spirit by knocking on places where silence is the only reply. You only need to sow your energy into what is gently opening before you. Every door that has shut has already fulfilled its divine purpose in your life. Focus now on the one that is opening, for that is where your soul is being invited to walk through into a new chapter of grace and emotional fulfillment. Do not underestimate the immense power of a single small choice. One act of true forgiveness for yourself can liberate generations of ancestral emotional pain. One moment of standing tall and saying, "I am worthy of peace and security in my life," can lay the foundation for your entire bloodline to step into prosperity. One firm, gentle action today can end cycles of heartache that have lingered for decades. And you are the one who has been chosen to plant that sacred seed. Perhaps you are thinking to yourself, "But am I strong enough?" Remember, gentle soul, the divine does not choose the strongest, it chooses the willing. You do not need to be fully prepared to begin. You only need to begin, and the fullness will come to meet you on your path. The seed you plant today will be watered by grace, nourished by light, and tended to by a faith that has already been arranged for you. So be brave enough to do the smallest thing that your heart is urging you to do. Do not wait for a grand cinematic miracle to appear. The small act done in perfect alignment with your soul's truth is the miracle. And as you plant it, believe with every fiber of your being that heaven itself is leaning down, waiting and watching for that beautiful seed to rise. Sagittarius, now is the time for you to step into your sacred role as the sower. Do not let the ghosts of fear make you falter. Do not let the pull of the past draw you back into old emotional waters. Trust that the seed you plant today will yield a harvest of unimaginable abundance, peace, and love tomorrow. And then from that one tiny seed, you will begin to see the results take form in your life. Prosperity will flow with a new sense of ease and security. Love will heal itself from the inside out, offering you true sanctuary. And your ancestors will smile, blessing the path that you have so bravely forged. That is what we will explore in all its beauty in the final part of our journey together. Sagittarius, this is the moment of your great homecoming. The moment you realize with a clarity that settles deep within your bones that everything which has left your life was never meant to leave you empty. It was meant to prepare you for something better, something more deserving of your tender heart, something that truly feels like home. When an emotional door closes, you may stand outside for a time weeping for what was lost. But look closer now. Ahead of you, another door has been opened, brighter, wider, and woven with the very light of a divine promise. The universe never takes without giving. It never leaves your hands empty except to prepare them to receive a gift that was meant for the right and perfect time. And now, you begin to see it taking shape all around you. Money no longer comes to you through a frantic chase, through worry, or a feeling of scarcity. It now flows as a natural rhythm in your life, a gentle and supportive current, providing the security you crave for your journey and purpose. It is no longer a pursuit, but a response. It is as though heaven itself is whispering to you, "You are worthy of this ease. You are worthy of this abundance." These blessings are not arriving by luck, but through the profound and beautiful change that has taken place within you. Because you learn to set your boundaries, to forgive yourself, and to bravely step into a new chapter, you have changed your very frequency. Love, too, is transforming. The wound that once felt so deep, so incurable, has now become the sacred ground where true, authentic love and connection can finally grow. The one who once hurt you no longer holds any power over your light. And you, in your newfound wisdom, no longer feel the need to prove your worth to anyone. Love now comes to you not to test your patience, but to lift your spirit higher. You deserve to be loved gently. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be seen not in the cold silence of neglect, but in the sacred harmony of a true soul connection that feels like a safe harbor. And beyond even this, your healing is not just for you. With every step you take toward your own light, you are carrying your entire lineage with you. The silent prayers of your ancestors, the tears that were never wiped away, now find their release through the grace of your own journey. You are the living proof that what could not be completed in the past has now been brought to a beautiful and peaceful closure, and your ancestors smile. You can feel their blessings in every serendipitous moment, every meaningful dream, every small and unexpected joy that finds you. It is their way of saying, "You did it. You were never alone." I am certain of this, Sagittarius. The universe's justice is never loud, but it is always precise. You have not truly lost anything of value. You have exchanged your emotional pain for heaven's grace. And the price you paid in tears was never in vain. It was the very key that unlocked this new and beautiful door. Write this down now as a sacred ritual for your soul. In the comments below, write what your spirit is ready to release, so that heaven may bless you with what is waiting for you. Perhaps you will write, "I release the burden of others' expectations and welcome my own truth." Every word you leave behind is not just a comment, it is a covenant. A sacred declaration to the universe that you are ready to let go, to receive, and to step into the heart of your own harvest season. Sagittarius, feel this truth in every cell of your being. Love is still here for you. Abundance is still finding its way to your shores, bringing comfort and security. And your ancestors are still walking beside you, their gentle hands upon your back. You have not been abandoned. You have never been alone. And the path before you is no longer dark. It is lit by an unwavering grace. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this journey. Every moment you have remained here is a priceless gift, not only to this sacred space at Cosmic Treasure, but to your own soul. For you have allowed yourself to open to receive and to welcome the healing that was always meant for you. I pray for you, dear Sagittarius, that you will always live in a state of gentle abundance, surrounded by a love that feels like a sanctuary, and forever feel the hand of the divine and your ancestors guiding each of your steps. May the days ahead bring you a profound peace in your heart, simple joys in every moment, and the quiet miracles you so deeply and truly deserve. Believe that you are never alone, and know that the blessings have already begun to flow toward you.